Shaggy, where you been at? Getting all this promo when it comes to...
Named after his status as an ex-member of the military, JPEGMAFIA's strange, shifting, sour, and sometimes scary new album is challenging but rewarding in the sense that you're being both taken aback and excited at the same time. I described the beats that JPEGMAFIA produces as similar to animal-shaped chicken nuggets on Twitter, and their record label Deathbomb Arc retweeted me, making me think that I wasn't too far off with my clumsy comparison. Then I realized they just retweet people who like the album. Still, my comparison consists of the idea that the beats, like an animal-shaped chicken nugget, are malformed and rough around the edges, a little bit jagged, but you still have a solid idea of what kind of form the chicken nugget is trying to achieve, or the beat, rather. It's a rubbish analogy, I know, but I'm just trying to be quirky. From screams to drones to trap percussion to eclectic samples of Mortal Kombat and WWE, the production here is roughly cut, jagged, disheveled, and peppered with a riotous, tangy personality on the mic. Mr. JPEG himself, or is he Mr. Mafia? I don't know. Abrasive both vocally and instrumentally. The verses that JPEG spits are radical and also riotous in that they provoke a reaction in you, be it sour lines about Kelly Conway, Lena Dunham, a fellow artist on his record label, Girl Pusher, who he takes issue with their behaviour of. Many of his lyrics are made out of snark, sure, but there's also a genuine distaste and message behind it, perhaps for the state of America, perhaps for the behaviour of certain people, even if it may come across in short, loose bursts and lines, and of course in very sour punchlines, there is still a message to be heard. For example, he might actually talk about gentrification. Now, some may take issue with how radical he is with his lyrics, but I think it's really interesting to read up on why JPEGMAFIA is so abrasive with his lyric writing. In a great interview I read, not only does he detail his experiences in the military, his political views which influence his music, and also what influences his very eclectic and strange beats, he also details why sometimes it is necessary to be so radical with the message. In a way, chances are if you are offended by his lyrics, then he's most likely targeting you. But there are other lyrics that you may enjoy, stuff that is a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. For example, on track 1 we get a reference to Mr. Mike Seatown himself from Dead End Hip Hop.
I need a bitch with long hair like Mike Seatown. Yeah. Talking shit, I'm talking shit, you catch a beat down. Yeah.
Not only that, but on the track Whole Foods we get a whole 3 lines referencing Nintendo 64 titles like Conker's Bad Fur Day, Perfect Dark, GoldenEye. And of course, let's not forget some of those track titles. The one about Morrissey, whew. If there's any one issue I have with this album, it's just that, you know, I understand it's meant to be disjointed, but there are some cuts that just feel a little bit out of line. For example, just the jump from one idea to the next so abruptly can be a little jarring. I'm also not a fan of the random ambient drone cut Dayum during the first half of the album, and also a couple of tracks really do take a while to get going. Still, these are kind of minor things I take issue with. Overall, this album is extremely exciting, it's creative, it's riotous, it's insane. It really is insane. I think that with warped, deliciously bizarre beats and a tangy personality through and through, JPEGMAFIA has enchanted yours truly. I don't guarantee it'll be everyone's cup of tea, but, you know, with experimental hip-hop, that just really is the case. I'm gonna give this a strong 7 out of 10. Yes.